Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to explain a 2022 sci-fi thriller action movie named The Witch, Part 2, The Other One. The movie follows the story of a young woman awakens in a massive hidden laboratory. When the child flees a laboratory, she comes into Kyung-hee, who's attempting to protect her home from criminal gangs. As the girl comes face to face with a criminal organization approaching Kyung-hee's residence, she overpowers them with amazing force, and they begin hunting her in the hidden laboratory in the meantime. Serious spoilers ahead, so sit back and enjoy. The movie begins with a child inside a cowshed. She's bloody, shaking in absolute fear and breathing deeply. She looks down at her blood-covered hands and then takes a couple of steps back. She's shocked to witness something. Suddenly, she hears a voice calling for her, asking her to hurry and come to her mommy. Overwhelmed by the noises, she covers her ears. The scene shifts to the present time. A woman with headphones wakes up on a bus surrounded by other people who are having a sing-along. Seems like they're on their way to a picnic or outing as a whole. When the passengers fall asleep, not too long after, the bus takes a turn and gets off the highway. They stop at what seems to be an abandoned mine. Among the people, someone wears a mask and releases sleeping gas. Those who stand up to escape are shoved back to their seat. One of the men grabs the woman with the headphones from earlier. It seems she was their target, and the rest are just secondary damage used to fabricate a tragic story to cut loose ends. When the woman with the headphones wakes up, she's in a hospital-like room. She can hear the TV, which plays the news reporting about a tour bus that fell under a bridge. It's the same tour bus she was on. An older woman, Dr. Beck, with long hair, sits beside her on the bed and starts caressing her hair. Dr. Beck looks at the young woman with curiosity and kindness. The younger woman tells her that she's pregnant. The older woman informs her that she already knows and that the baby's a girl and will have a younger sister who will be her fraternal twin. The younger woman is confused and asks what she means. Another woman approaches them and she looks just like the older woman, Dr. Beck, except with shorter hair. She comments that it seems she doesn't know where she is. The scene shifts to years later. A secret lab is attacked and dismembered humans are lying everywhere. Among the bodies, a little girl, also known as Ark, wakes up to an alarm blaring. She's covered in blood and walks out in a daze. Due to the light, the noises, and the smells, she's overwhelmed and covers her ears for a moment. It seems like she's been kept underground for far too long, and these small things are what she's not familiar with. In another part of Korea, a group of men drives up to a mansion close to the sea. They're led by a man named Jang, the head of a secret research institute. While waiting inside the mansion, weird black veins crop up on his face, which signifies that Jang is no ordinary man. He clicks his tongue and comments that's what happens when you come to an old woman's house. The old woman Jang is talking about is actually Dr. Beck years later. She approaches Jang on a wheelchair-bound state. She asks him directly about the incident in the lab. He scoffs and confirms that their headquarters has been breached. She asks to Jang, is the breach anyhow related to the previous problem, and Jang affirms this. He wonders out loud about who could have released them and what their purpose could have been. He tries to figure out if she's involved in any level. Not taking his bait, Beck instructs him that they should investigate right away and find the missing asset. Meanwhile, after waking up in a strange deserted place, Ark finds herself in the middle of a highway. She starts walking in one direction when a van out of nowhere passes by, almost hitting her. It backs up and she's pretty much kidnapped inside the van. Inside, she finds Kyung-hee, who's being abducted by the men. The girl is loud and complains that this little girl that they suddenly picked up has nothing to do with anything. She asks them why they took her. With Kyung-hee still arguing with the men for Ark's release, the men's patience run thin and they start beating her up. They also continue to bother Ark, who keeps looking at them with straight eyes. Even after Ark repeatedly tells them to stop, the men keep poking and touching her. With her patience completely empty, Ark breaks the arm of the guy up front as well as the guy sitting next to her. A fight ensues with the van curving and swirling around on the icy road. The doors get ripped apart and soon the van crashes by flipping upside down. Kyung-hee gets out of the van and finds Ark, who is about to kill the last of the men. She stops her and calls for help. Kyung-hee's uncle then arrives and worries over the well-being of Kyung-hee and her injuries. She tells him not to worry and hurries him back inside the car. They've finally noticed Ark, who attempts to walk toward the two but passes out after a nosebleed. Kyung-hee carries the girl along to her uncle's clinic, who's an animal doctor. At the clinic, the uncle attempts to give Ark an emergency medical care. He takes out the glass shards littered all over the back of Ark's body. The pullout triggers something blue that courses through Ark's body, and she gains consciousness for a moment. The uncle studies her x-ray, and to his shock, he looks back at her body and finds the wounds gone and healed in a split second. To remove all the experimental gadgets from her skin, her uncle operates on Ark to perform surgery. The girl is ultimately brought to Kyung-hee's home, where she lives with her brother Dae-jil. The leader of the Covert Institute, Zhang, pays Dr. Beck a visit in the meantime. In the coastal base of Jeju Island, where Zhang sends out a tactical squad to covertly address the issue, they discuss the girl who escaped. Kyung-hee is threatened by Yong-do and his crew at night, who also discloses that Young killed her father into surrendering him the deed to his land. As the girl shows there, she uses her raw power to take down the majority of the thugs, sending Yong-do running away in a panic. When Beck is summoned in to deal with an agent by the name of Jo Hyun and her South African partner, he gives them a gadget that can track Ark. Unhappy with what took place, Yong-do interrogates Kyung's uncle in an effort to learn more about the girl. When Kyung-hee learns that her uncle is hurt while traveling in the market, she rushes outside to aid him. She meets Jo Hyun and her co-worker in the car when she gets back there, and they show her video of the girl killing everyone before making her escape. They then beg her to assist them in stopping Ark by stopping it. In order to get a dosage of their strength in return for disclosing the whereabouts of the girl, Yong-do meets with Zhang's squad after informing his fellow criminals of the girl's position. Before a fireworks display, Yong-do and Zhang's squad arrive at the house, interrupting Kyung-hee, who's been told to depart with her brother as soon as a display of fireworks begins. In an effort to afford Dae-jil and Ark some time to flee, Kyung is shot to death and dies as a result. The girl on the roof is intended to be killed by the tactical troops of Jo Hyun, but he's able to flee. Yong-do kills Dae-jil shortly after he sees his sister's body, despite the fact that he survived the home explosion. Prior to the girl being attacked, the squad kills the gang, Jo Hyun and her partner. Despite the tremendous dose he has gotten, Yong-do eventually has his feet smashed by Ark, rendering him helpless. She engages in combat with the final two members of the tactical unit and uses her telekinesis to destroy one of them. Zhu as Jae-yoon comes by car. She dispatches this final survivor of the turmoil before telling Ark that they're sisters and that she's been keeping an eye on her ever since she escaped. Jae-yoon claims that because she has a deeper psychic connection with the girl, she needs to help her to locate their mother. While contemplating Young's lingering demise and the deaths of Dae-jil and Kyung-hee, Ark remains silent. Jae-yoon gives her sister a tranquilizer injection, loads her into the car, and the two of them leave the area together. At the end of the film, Beck senses the sisters' unexpected threat before being shown their mother inside a massive tank with cables attached to it. The screen turns dark when the woman opens her eyes. That was all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's movie, and for more such contents, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to like and comment on this video. We always appreciate your support.